whether you're old or new, the message hopefully is spread. This helped save my life. Hopefully what's said here can help save yours.
Yes, sir.
All right, our speakers tonight will be Greg W. and Angel J. So I will let y'all duke it out on who wants to go first.
Yeah, we do.
Oh, shoot, look at that.
Girl for recovering addict named Greg.
Hey, Greg.
First and foremost, I would like to thank God of my understanding for waking me up and waking me up clean. Second, I'd like to thank God of our understanding for getting us all here. And look, check this out, newcomer, if you came and you were loaded today, understand this, you never have to use again. Look, we have one promise, and that's a promise of freedom from active addiction, man. You know, everything else is, you know what I mean, will come with the work that you put in, and it's all determined about how much work you put in, about the promises that you will, about the gifts that you will get from that one promise. Listen, I'm going through some shit, I'm going to read some things, and I'm going to get down to the topic, because I understand, as you know, according to the second tradition, you know what I mean, me being a trusted servant of the committee, when they made their decision as trusted servants, I'm entrusted to stay on topic. But there's a couple things I'm going to touch on and everything, and I'll get to that in a minute. But look, in our basic text on our 6th edition of our basic text on page 113, there's something I always like to read anytime I'm given this task of carrying our 12-step work right here. And that's to help keep me getting centered and keep me from letting my ego try to tell me that my message is more important than our message. It says in NA, we learn that as addicts, we're not unique, but as people, we are individuals, and our experience matters. Collectively, we are so much more than the sums of our parts. Each of us, regardless of our claim time or where we came from, has something to contribute by sharing openly and honestly, and something to gain when we listen with open heart. I'm going to do my part and share openly and honestly. I pray that you do your part and listen with open heart. I'm going to read on this before I get anywhere farther, because you know what I mean, because I am going, you know, and this is what I believe in our literature. If you have a problem with the literature, you might have to take a look at that, because this is our program. This is where we get, you know, to the last part of our message. You know, a new way to live, because we come in here, well, I came in here with a distorted motherfucking belief system. I came in here and I didn't know how to do nothing but this same crazy stuff I was doing here. By reading our information and learning how to apply it to my life, it gave me a new way to live. So check this out. It says, what about speaking in recovery gatherings? Does the 12th tradition tell us that as individual recovering addicts, we must not talk in NA meetings about the challenges we face? No, it does not. While a particular problem may be an outside issue, its effect on our recovery is not. Everything affecting a recovering addict's life is material for sharing. If a problem we are having impacts our ability to stay clean and grow spiritually, it is not an outside issue. Many things can put us off balance and challenge our recovery. We often discuss such challenges with one another at our meetings, seeking to ease our personal burdens by sharing them with our fellow NA members. We ask others to share how they apply the principles in the program in similar circumstances, recovering their balance and strength, and strengthening their recovery. We need no permission to talk about such things in our meetings. I'm reading that because, like I said at the beginning, as a trusted servant and being entrusted to carry our message and stay on topic, I believe in doing it. Right now, I have some things that are affecting my ability to stay spiritually fit right now that I need to share before I get to this topic that they have. I've been going through some things, and thank God for sponsorships and our friends that our NA book talks about and that the program talks about. Listen, for those that know me, man, I'm running for public office right now, right? And like I knew that going into this task and everything, that there's gonna be some shit that was gonna come up sooner or later, and like, you know what I mean? But one thing I understand is, look, I survive active addiction. There ain't too much shit that anything throws at me can really knock me off my tip. But look, I'm feeling some kind of, you know, ain't no feeling no fucking some kind of way and everything. We learn how to identify our feelings around here. I've been angry ever since I got a phone call. A guy that's been helping me with my campaign, because see, like, I'm a loan shark running against the incumbent. I'm running against the machine and everything like that. And he's been helping me get my name out there and everything. And he called me this afternoon and told me that, you know, my opponent got in touch with him and is basically trying to intimidate him to stop, going out and helping me out. And like, you know, thank God for the awareness that, like, what you do when you feeling all kind of upset and when you don't know what you're feeling, you do something that's called share. That's one of the biggest tools that we as recovering addicts have in here, is learning how to share honestly about what we are feeling, what's going on in our heads, and everything like that. So even after talking with my sponsor and talking with my friends and everything that was able to get me back a little bit, I still understand that sometimes I have to come in a meeting and share what's going on with me, because somebody might have my solution other than the people that are closest to me. And I might not know who that person is unless I had the courage to talk about my insecurities, about, look, sometimes I feel like I entered into an arena that I don't belong, because see, like one of the things she told this dude is, I don't think he's even qualified. He only has a GED and I have a law degree. The fuck does that have to do with anything?
Come on, baby.
But I have to understand that, you know what I'm saying, if I don't express this stuff, it will do what it talks about in the 10th step in our basic text. Petty frustrations will grow into full-blown resentments. And anybody who knows me knows that when I feel threatened and I have these full-blown resentments I like to play with you on social media. And this ain't the time to do it, man. So like, you know, I had to talk to my sponsor, and I had to talk to him about, you know, these things that I was thinking about doing, and I had to go ahead and listen to the recovery voice instead of doing what I want to do. It goes back to what our daily meditation was talking about today. God's will is self-will. Self-will says, man, blast the motherfucker. Put them out there. Talk about all the dirty shit they doing. But the integrity of the program y'all told me to do is, man, look, you run a clean program, and look, you know what I'm saying, you take care of the physical, and let the God of your understanding take care of the spiritual part. They wouldn't be doing this unless they felt intimidated. Anytime somebody's threatened by something new, what do? Because we do it in the rooms. When we see a newcomer come in here and we, you know, and they start getting busy, you tell them about all this literature, read the literature, they study the literature, then they end up meeting, sharing out the literature. You say, why don't you share your experience? But he don't know nothing better to do but what you told him to do, read the fucking book.
Right.
So these are the things what I learned in here, and dealing with this stuff has prepared me for go out there and deal with the same thing. And I thank God for the fortitude that I learned from being in here. Now with all the housekeeping and all that, so I could get that off of me where I don't have to keep just dumping on my sponsor and okay, let's get to the topic. Staying clean while your mate is dirty. Now look, I don't know where I'm going to go with this and everything like that, because see, like one thing I understand that we do not share Narcotics Anonymous at the expense of other people, and these are one of those topics, like I had to talk to my sponsor about this, because see, like I was like, I don't really want to fuck with this topic. Not because, you know what I'm saying, no other things, because see, like there's some people that might get harmed by what I got to share, and I don't want to do that. And then we got to talking, and he said, see, these are those type of topics where it gives you the permission, if you ain't got the principles, to put all the attention on the other person instead of talking about you. But what I have to get to is like, why would I keep talking about the person who was using when I'm the one who chose to be with the person? So let's get to the meat and the potatoes of it. Let's talk about my insecurities, or why do I keep on? Because see, like, here's the thing. When me and my sponsor were talking about it, and I started doing some thinking, I started doing some real looking at myself, doing some personal work and looking at the inside, it's like this. I have a pattern of keep on picking up the same type of person. Now, when we talking about living dirty, we ain't always talking about using, man. And that's what I had to get at. See, like I came into Narcotics Anonymous with a relationship, and the woman I came in a relationship with, she fit what I was doing out in the streets. Look, I came to Narcotics Anonymous and I didn't think I was like y'all. My crack story was 11 months long, and that was years before I got here. I ain't never shot no dog food. I ain't never snorted none of that. I snorted some powder, you know what I'm saying, for a couple years, but like when I got to the end of the road, it was really only thing I was using was marijuana. I wasn't even using alcohol anymore, because I was that addict who said if I stopped using alcohol, all my problems would go away, because that's the drug that gives me the most problem. But thank God for sponsorship, reading the literature, and getting honest with myself. I come to understand when it talks about all drugs bring us to our knees, I could see the unmanageability that even smoking the weed was doing in my life. So I didn't think I was like you. So I came into Narcotics Anonymous, like I said, biggest part of my using story, I was the drug dealer. So I didn't really think I felt like y'all. I mean, fit in here with y'all. And like the woman I came in the program with, you know what I'm saying? We had an open relationship when we first got together, and then I started doing some of this little work on myself, and I started saying, okay, maybe I could try to start doing some things, because I heard everybody, see, this is fucked up around here. When we start trying to live our lives behind somebody else's belief systems, and we lose ourselves, we'll start picking up things, and then we'll find out that, man, look, I'm running around here spending too much time trying to live a life by what your standards are and not truly by mine. So I'm hearing everybody talk about this monogamous relationships and all this stuff, and you know, one woman for one man and all that. And that ain't the way I was brought up at the time, man. That ain't what I came in the streets with. My belief system said, you know what I'm saying? Like, look, man, if you telling her and her about each other and they cool with it, man, roll with it. And you know, as long as they cool with it, man, do what you do. You know what I'm saying? Like some things change as we come along and we keep coming back. But at the early beginnings, that wasn't really how I felt. So I started trying to fit my lifestyle into somebody else's belief system. And like, you know, I'm telling the girl that, you know, we had an open relationship and it was working like that. And I told her, I said, let's try this, you know what I'm saying? If you down with it, I'm down with it. Let's try this monogamous thing and all this stuff. And she said, cool. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, it took me a while. It didn't happen overnight. I was able to finally put my other friends, you know what I'm saying, get rid of them and all that stuff and all that. But what I found out later on in the relationship was, look, just because I was ready to change, she wasn't. I'm the one who had the program. She's not one of us. I couldn't understand, well, put it like this. Her disease that she has one didn't manifest itself in the way of using drugs uncontrollably like we do. Mm-hmm. We could go out to dinner and she would drink a daiquiri and leave this much shit in there, and I'm looking like, how the fuck is you doing that? And went and drink again for like 6 months, 9 months to her birthday and all that. And I'm like, how do you do that stuff? And she looking like, you know what I'm saying, this is just what I do. You know what I'm saying? But what ended up happening was, like, as we started growing spiritually, we started developing these things called intuitions and stuff like that. And like my insecurity started jumping up, like, hold on, things ain't going the way it was at first. So now I found myself, you know what I'm saying, being insecure. And instead of having, you know, look, having the capacity to tell people about that stuff, I started doing shit like this, looking for the evidence, because you know something ain't right. Instead of talking about it and talking to her, I even tried to talk to her and she telling me, nah, ain't nothing going on. So I started going through the phone and shit like that. I started trying to, you know what I'm saying, look, women, y'all ain't the only ones who do that shit. Men won't, I know I ain't the only man who does it. Come on, man. You know what I'm saying? I know even today, if I'm not spiritually fit, and I could be in a good relationship and I feel things ain't going right, and I don't let you look. It talks about in our 10th step that, you know, our defects will drive us into a corner that we can't come out clean. And I ain't talking about always using dope clean. I'm talking about going back to some of my sickest behavior patterns without the use of drugs. Will get me in a place where my unmanageability, which is, look, unmanageability, man. We this is where we have to go to, man. This is the thing that we're working on. This is what we have to keep on getting. We have to stay vigilant here, man. Look. Unmanageability, you know what I'm saying? Check this out, man. There's two unmanageabilities. The outward unmanageability, which is often identified as the things as arrest, job losses, and family problems. Some of our members have been incarcerated, me. Some of us have never been able to sustain any kind of relationship for more than a few months, me. Some of us have been cut off from our families and never asked to contact them. I didn't get that far, but I got damn near close. Now, the inner and personal unmanageability is often identified by the unhealthy or untrue belief system about ourselves, the world we live in, and the people in our lives. We may believe that we're worthless. We may believe that the world revolves around us. Not that it should, but it does. We may believe that it isn't really our job to take care of ourselves. Someone else should do that. We may believe that the responsibilities that the average person takes, as a matter of course, are just too large of a burden for some of us to bear. And we may over or underreact to events in our lives. Emotional invalidity is often one of the most obvious ways in which we can identify personal unmanageability. So when we're talking about unmanageability, we're talking about this distorted belief system that we come in here with. Now, we ain't now, like, check this out. I can't just let it off the hook about the belief system that I came in here with. What about the belief system that I developed when I'm in here and I still stop challenging that thing? That creates some more unmanageability with some information, which makes me more dangerous. Because see, now I get to rationalizing why the fuck I'm doing what I'm doing with the literature, with my clean time, with the experiences, and all the other stuff. And then I won't see how sick I'm becoming. Right here in the rooms of Narcotics Anonymous, and why I'm a firm believer, like we always hear that, you know what I'm saying? The disease always wants me dead, the disease wants me dead. I'm a firm believer the disease don't want all of us dead. It needs some of us to be alive, spewing that bullshit to spread through the fellowship, to make it think that it's okay for us to live an unprincipled life in a principled program.
Come on.
So I had to get with this thing, man. I had to start breaking it down. I had to start doing the work. And I was able to start looking at it like on a deeper level about these insecurities when I started going through her phone and I'm finding the dick pictures and I'm finding the messages, I'm finding the hookups and all that stuff, and I'm still like, I'm going to her because she's like, something's wrong with me because I got this thing called low self-esteem and low self-worth that I got all this evidence, and I say to myself, I start rationalizing, talking about, look, I've been a cheater all my life, and when I got child cheated, I wanted you to go ahead and forgive me, so I'm going to give you the chance, but you can't even tell me the truth that you cheating. When I got all the evidence, I got the screenshots, I'm sending them to you like, what the fuck you mean? What you mean? Look at this shit. And I'm still fucked up in the head like, man, I gotta prove that I can have me a worthwhile relationship even with the sickest type of people, man. So I go through all of that. And I'm talking about, look, staying with my mate while she's dirty, but I ain't talking about her. I'm talking about what was going on with me. Because she was just doing what she's supposed to do. Through my step work and talking with the sponsor I had at the time, look, check this out. You the one with the program, you the one who surrendered to the lifestyle, you the one who surrendered that you didn't want to be out there no more. She didn't. And when you decided to do that, you took away a part of who she was, her identity. She was the dope man's woman. So she still had to keep doing what she was used to doing. Just because you decided to change doesn't mean that you have to drag everybody in to try to make them change when you want them to. So you got to get with that, man. You get what your hand called for. Sometimes I will go ahead and I will create situations and I will stay in them longer than I need to because of this certain sort of distorted, familiar pain that has me scared to find out what my life can be if I go ahead and just live this principled life and step out on faith. And it would have me fucked up, and now I'm in the meeting raising my hand talking about, man, this bitch ain't doing this, and I'm loving it. But I ain't looking at the real root of all the problems. Is who? Me. One thing we talk about in my area, which I'm from the Dayton Area Service Committee and Narcotics Anonymous, we talk about, look, if I ain't the problem, there is no solution. Because see, the problem and the solution live in the same vessel, me. Once I take a first step, I have a decision. I have some, look, if you read what that first step says, it says we admitted we were powerless. Don't say I still am. It says we were powerless. We were. So that's past tense. So that means after I've taken the first step and I admitted that I have a problem, it also means that I'm now into the solution. The solution is that I have a power of choice, something I have not had since I took that first drug. Now, check this out. The dope gone. Everything. 8 years clean. Fast forward. I still will find myself locked in my addiction because see, I'll become powerless over my disease again because I don't take a first step and I go right back into those defects and I want to start saying, man, look, why is my life fucked up all over again in this realm of relationships? Because I'm right back in the same place, man. Something is wrong with me when I see the signs and I notice and I would start rationalizing, like, nah, it ain't what it is, all that. You know, one of the most dangerous things I found that I can hear in the rooms in narcotics, I'm talking about for me, I ain't talking about for nobody else, is when somebody tells you, remember where you were when you were at her age in recovery. And that can be dangerous if you messing around with a newcomer who ain't doing no work and you was 2 feet, 10 toes down in service, going to meetings, doing all of that stuff, and now you start forming a resentment against them because they ain't living the program because we'll tell them like, don't you remember where you were at when you were at 8 months clean? Don't you remember where you were at when you were? And anybody who knows me knows that 8 months and a year, I was really in depth in this program because I did not want to use no more. More than that, I didn't want to go back to the penitentiary. So anything y'all told me that I needed to do, I was doing it. Now I'm caught up with a newcomer and she ain't doing what I was doing and y'all telling me, remember where you were. And I'm not seeing the spiritual stuff that y'all talk about. I'm only looking at the physical aspect of what I was doing at 8 months and a year and stuff like that. And now I'm forming a resentment like, man, she ain't doing none of this shit. But I ain't looking at how I was living spiritually, man. I'm the dude, like I told you, I came in here, I had a woman, and I also had a girlfriend in Narcotics Anonymous. We had New Year's Eve event when I had less than a year clean, and we all sitting at the table together, one big happy family. And motherfuckers is telling my sponsor, what kind of dude is you to allow your sponsor to be at the table with his girlfriend and his side girl? And he's like, man, look, that's how we roll in our sponsorship family. You either get in or you get out, baby. What's up? What you want to do? He was saying that being facetious and telling, but basically letting them know, I can't control what that man do, and that ain't my job to tell him that stuff. Yeah. Only thing my job as his sponsor is to give him information and hope he wakes up one day. Look, let's go here, 12 step, man. Because we get caught up on trying to motherfucking dictate to a person how they should be living their life as they sponsors instead of doing what we're supposed to be doing, just giving them the information. Man, you know, I love this program and I believe in every parts of it, man. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes, you know what I'm saying, we can this thing that we suffer from, which is based in what? What is the spiritual aspect of our disease? Total self-centeredness. And we'll talk about the obsession, we'll talk about the compulsion and how it don't go nowhere, but we won't talk about how we are still totally self-centered somewhere in our lives. And a lot of times it might show up in my life about how I'm out treating my sponsees. Sometimes it's challenging to carry the message. The person with whom we decide to share the message, it seems unable to hear it. This can range from someone who keeps relapsing to someone who keeps choosing destructive behavior. It's tempting to think that our efforts are being wasted and we should just give up on such a person. Before we make such a decision, we should think about all the mitigating circumstances. Say we're sponsoring someone who wasn't following our directions. We should just write an assignment and we don't hear from that person until another fresh crisis is brewing. We've shared with all the enthusiasm we can summons about our experiences with the situation the person is facing, explaining in great detail how our disease was present and how we use the steps to find recovery. But our sponsor keeps doing the same destructive thing over and over. This can be very frustrating. But before we give up, we need to remember that our choice isn't whether to carry the message, but how. We need to get our own egos out the way. We don't take credit or blame for someone else's recovery. We simply present the message as positively as we can and remain available to help when we're asked. See, so like, check this out. So as my sponsor is telling me, man, look, you're causing harm, you know, by this lifestyle that you live in, you know what I'm saying, with these two women and all of that stuff. But I'm like, no, man, look, I took it to, you know what I'm saying, look, I took it to like this. Since you always want to talk, you know, I'm so glad this is a spiritual, not religious program. But since you always want to take it to the spiritual aspect, I said, let me ask you this. If it was cool for in that one book that you always throwing at me, for them to have multiple women back then, but now, motherfucker, you trying to tell me I can only have one, you know what I'm saying? What am I doing so wrong? But it took me through going through the step work, getting to that 8th step and finding out about the real exact nature of harm and what harm looks like, where he started to get me to see, because see, like when you sharing more than one mate in your life, you ain't never giving yourself a chance to heal, and you ain't never giving yourself a chance to learn how to be in a motherfucking relationship where, you know, when you got choices, you'll never get right. Let me rephrase it. When you got wrong choices.
That's right, yeah.
When I got a choice between me having to learn how to effectively communicate with this one woman and get better in relationships, or I can say, fuck that, I got this other girl over here that I can go play with whenever she's acting up, and I got this other one to go play with whenever. I never learned how to be in an effective relationship where I can become the man that the God of my understanding is intended for me to be. Then I'm passing that poison on to the other people, because see, look, this is a program of action, and people are watching how we live it more than what the fuck we are saying. I can come in here and drop all this Gucci ass shit, but you know what y'all watching more than anything when I walk out here is he really living that shit. Right. So when I'm talking to my sponsees and I'm telling them about, you know what I'm saying, maybe you might want to do this, maybe you might want to do that, maybe have you tried to do this in a relationship? I better be goddamn sure that I'm living that shit, man. Because one thing it talks about in our basic text about why we don't give advice and all that shit is because we lose the respect of the newcomers when we do. How do we do that? Because when the newcomer finds out that I was giving them some advice and I'm full of shit, they motherfuckers start discrediting not just me, but other older members. So I've learned to live only by the examples that I learned through my experiences. Have my experiences been perfect up in here? No. Have I ever lied to anybody that they have been? Yes, when I want to try to seem like I'm doing such a fucking fine job. When I want y'all to tell me, share that shit. When I want to live like that, but the only person who's getting sicker is me. The little green book talks about, look, anybody can carry our message, even if they're not quite living it. The only person they're hurting is themselves. And I'm not here to live in I'm tired of living in spiritual darkness in a program that promises me freedom, man. I'm ready to get to that point where I no longer have to keep on choosing the wrong mates because of my low self-esteem, because I don't think that I add up to these people that, that I really want for myself. My sponsor had me my first sponsor had me write down that list, what do I want? What am I in? All that, that good shit y'all do, these sponsors be telling us to do, what we want, what we ask for, and do I have to, I'm like, man, fuck that, man. So I did the list of when I got tired of bumping my head in that first relationship, and I made this list out, right? And I started to seeing that the qualities of the person that I wanted is not who I was with. I finally got the courage to step away. And one thing I've learned in this process, surrender don't always come easy. See, I will forget the struggle it took me to get clean, the struggle it took me to surrender to no more drugs. And I will forget that sometimes I'm going to have that same struggle with some of the relationships, some of the people I'm hanging with, some of the behaviors I'm doing, all of that stuff. I will forget that until I find myself in the middle of pain. Now I'm starting to understand again why the principle of surrender is so important. So I've had to learn that in those times, man, I gotta pray for the courage to trust. What am I trusting? That third step. That once I make this decision that the God of my understanding is going to take care of me, man. Not control, but take care of me. Like one thing I've learned, man, me and my sponsor talked about when I just went through, I just finished the third step. I'm finishing up this fourth now, and it's been so much freeing, man. Because see, like, once we've been here and we start cycling through the steps again, I can find out that I've only scratched the surface on a lot of these behaviors, these patterns, and all this other shit that I thought I really got to some core issues with the first time I went through, the second time I went through, the third, this fourth time through the steps have been some shit that I really didn't want to see, but I know the freedom that I get. Okay. So I'm no longer scared of going deeper and deeper. So I made the list. Something about this list. I'm seeing that, look, I'm staying clean while my mate is just being hurt. So the dirty person really is still me though. Because it's that untrue belief system that I'm living, that I'm trying to have her live up to. But I get the courage. I said, look, this ain't working. It's time for us to go our separate ways. You ain't even got to leave the house. You can keep the place. I'll pay the rent all the way up to July. I want to get my own apartment. Because see, like y'all taught me this thing called integrity around here. Come on. Just because the relationship don't end don't mean that you leave somebody out on the cold. Come on, baby. Just because, this is what y'all taught me. Like, do you remember them feelings when you had to get that black trash bag and now you got to go beg to go live on somebody's couch till you get your shit together? Do you want to put somebody through that? No. So I paid, this was made, I moved out, I left her the house until July, and then I was even nice enough to come over and help her pack up and get all the shit up out my mama's house. I was renting from my mom, you know what I mean? From her house that next door. Fantasy, got this list. I'm looking at all the things that I want in a mate in this list. I ain't looking at the other column, the things that I can't tolerate. Mm-hmm. I'm in love with the fantasy of what I want in a person. And I think I find it in this new person. got more clean time than me. She's involved with service. She's the chair of a convention that, there's a big convention in the Midwest and all that stuff. So I'm like, oh, this is it. This is it. I hear my buddy tell the person before I leave out the door, ooh, you trying to manipulate my boy. Well, I'm like, oh, nah, it ain't none of that. I'm pressing it up. I'm pressing it up.
Right.
I get into this relationship. I see all the red flags that this isn't really what you want to do. But like I said, I'm in love with this list over here, the fantasy list of everything. Because, you know what I'm saying? I'm seeing that, you know what I'm saying, she's involved. She goes in meetings. But what I'm not seeing is the real principles being practiced in her life and all of that stuff. Clean time, yes, she has. But you know what I'm saying? Like the spiritual aspect. And I'm finding myself on the phone arguing all the time. And I'm feeling like shit. But I'm still saying, nah, man, we can make this work. Because see, like I told y'all earlier, something about low self-esteem and low self-worth will have me go ahead and say, I can make this work. Because see, like, I think I need to deal with somebody more damaged than me to make me feel better than who the fuck I really am. Instead of getting somebody who's going to help build me up, they're going to keep on motherfucking keeping me just in the same place. And instead of us helping each other, I want to fix you. And as I'm fixing you, I'm the one becoming sicker. Because I ain't fixing you, I don't have that power to. So now 2 years into this thing, we've been in this long distance thing, and I get this bright idea, let me move you in. Okay. After I done said, now we're going to break up and everything, and then, you know what I'm saying, I'm a sucker for a woman who cries and all that. Because see, like, one thing I'm in touch with today is I'm a very emotional person. That's how come I didn't have nothing but anger how to go ahead and deal with myself as a kid, because I didn't have the right coping skills to deal with it. So my emotions, so what I would do was when you hurt my feelings, instead of me having the capacity to tell you this is how I felt, I sock you in your motherfucking mouth or something. Or I could make jokes about your mom, or I do shit like that. Instead of being able to have it. So I come in here now, I find out that I'm a very emotional person. So a woman crying on the phone, I'm like, okay, yeah, we can go ahead and try it again. You telling me now check this out. You telling me with your 8.5 years, you've never done a fourth step. And this is going to see, like, I come in here and I'm this judgmental as newcomer. I'm watching older members fuck with newcomers. I say I never do this. I set a set of standards for myself that I've gone against, you know, where I said I'll never mess with a woman in a fellowship who ain't got at least a year clean and worked the fourth step. And you done told me you never worked the fourth step, but I'm like, that's cool. I can compromise my beliefs just a little bit. Just a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Something about some good head will have a man fucked up. You know what I'm saying? So like boom, now here it is. I get this beautiful idea that, okay, maybe if I move her to Ohio, we have a better chance to work on this relationship, because now we can be this perfect NA couple. We're going to meetings, I can help you read religion. We'll pray together, all this good stuff and all that shit. And the only thing I did was invite turn craziness into my house.
Right.
Yeah, it was y'all fault up there. Y'all knew she was crazy and didn't nobody tell me up there. But I seen the signs, so I'll keep the focus on me. 2 years into the relationship, see, like I said, I've been a cheater in every relationship that I've had. I used to be able to say there was only one relationship, but at the end I ended up cheating in that one too. But I'm talking about almost 2 years into this relationship, not cheating, not none of that stuff. But, you know, something about, you know, like, look, when I'm feeling like, look, I come to find out reservations will rob us of all the positive shit that we had coming in.
Come on, baby.
I come to find out that, like, if I'm pressured enough, I will start going back into them reservations of why it's okay for me to cheat on you. Because see, you're doing this shit, you cheating, you keep on treating me like shit. No, I'm allowing myself to be treated like shit. You keep accusing me of cheating, I might as well go ahead and do it. I might as, you know what I'm saying? So these reservations are popping up, and I find myself, you know, back, you know, doing the shit that is part of my pattern. When I find myself, now I've got the awareness now. When I find myself back in people's inboxes and text messages that I ain't supposed to, I'm back into the vicious cycle of getting ready to fuck around and do the physical aspect. See, what I learned is like the same thing when I find myself hanging around old people who still selling dope and everything from my past relapse. I learned that, okay, I can't do that, because when I get to hanging with y'all and we sharing war stories and I start going back to the glory days, I'm getting closer back to the dope I'm about to use. It's the same thing when I find myself feeling like, okay, I gotta find comfort from, I don't give a fuck who you are. Everybody got that one person that no matter what, you can hit them up 5 years from now and they'll be like, okay, what's up? And so when I find myself back on the inboxes and texting and all that stuff, going for that old certain, that old certain thing, I need to start reeling myself back in. That's what I've learned through this experience. But at that time, I didn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I just do it once. Forget about compulsion. Once I started to act, I was gone. I reeled myself back in when I told her, nah, baby, we ain't gonna do this no more. She called me on my way back from Toledo where we were meeting up. I was working up there, she was working up there, and you know what I'm saying? She was like, I can't keep doing this because, you keep telling me you can't do it, you're not leaving your woman, but yet you're still up in my bed. And this is a game that we've been playing since we was 15, 16 years old. And I'm like, you know what I'm saying, but you know what this is, we've been doing this. She said, well, I can't keep doing it. Either you're gonna have to make a choice. I said, I'm not leaving my woman. As soon as I hung up the phone, I knew a phone call was going out. Monday I get a phone call at work, you dirty motherfucker, you ain't shit, you know what I'm saying? I do what I'm used to doing on live right off the rip. Then you motherfuckers are in my head, honesty, open-mindedness, and willingness. I hear it all in my head, so I get honest, I call her back, yes I did, now what we gonna do? We got a choice. We can either work on this or we can, you know what I'm saying, she decided to work on it, we tried to. When I found out about myself, my sponsor had to help me out, even when it got crazy at the end where, I'm talking about, you know what I'm saying, people acting like they trying to jump out of a moving car coming from a convention while I'm doing 85. I still, you know what I'm saying, I didn't go back and do the behavior of cheating. I found out that, you know what I'm saying, even in the worst of times, I can still be faithful. See, I learned a lot of, even in our worst times, in our wreckage times, we can learn something about ourselves. The good is always buried in there if I can get past the negativity. That's the part of living clean while my mate is being dirty. It's about what work am I doing, man? What am I really doing? So I'm talking about at the end, I'm like, let's try this, this couples counseling and all that. Are you down with that? She says she's down, but yet still she can't forgive me, and I understand, man. You know what I'm saying? When we're hurt, we're hurt. But how long am I going to allow myself to keep on being beat up on because you can't do the work that you need to do? I'm talking about, look, I'll give you a break, I sleep in the other room, but you got to get out of my house because I can't keep on coming home and I'm trying to go to sleep and you waking up in the middle of the night crying and want to whoop on me and shit, and I'm doing everything I need to do not to put my hands on you. Because see, like one thing I didn't do when I was using, and I almost did when I was clean, was put my hands on a female. I ain't never been a woman beater. But when you find yourself at 6 years clean, 5 years clean, whatever I was at that time, jumping out your bed, talking about, bitch, I'm about to beat your ass, and about to do it, you know it's time to make a change.
Yeah.
So I did something that I needed to do for myself. I went downtown and got something called a temporary protection order. Women, be careful of where the information you get. You see, if you're getting information from a bitter motherfucker who's going to give you bad information, you better make sure that motherfucker ready to let you sleep on your couch when the police tell you can't come in this man's house. You know what I mean? So the first one downtown to make that TPO, man, which was me, even though it was my house, you know what I'm saying? And she had decided to do what I would have had to be and one I had to go. I beat her to the punch because she didn't know Ohio laws like I did. Listening to other people in the rooms who've been through that, that's what you better do. I was told no limit, man. I told her I will wrap it up though. Part of time is sharing the time. So look, I had to go ahead and make a decision. I did the right thing. I got out of that relationship and did more work on myself. As we keep coming back, talking about staying clean while our mate is dirty isn't always keeping them focused on what they're doing. It's about looking at the insecurities, the work I'm not doing to keep me picking up on these same type of people. This is where I'm talking about, man. It ain't about that other person. It's about what's going on with me internally. Why do I feel like I don't deserve better? Why do I feel like I can't have what is deserved to me? When I look at my parents and my grandparents and I seen how they were living their relationships, that's really what I want for myself. But yet and still, I won't go and do the work that I need to do internally to get it. Listen, man, I appreciate this opportunity. Like I say, man, I didn't want to come in here and bash nobody, and I hope I didn't. And I'm pretty sure if I did, my friends going to talk about me and shit. I thank y'all for allowing me to share.
All right. Thank you, Greg. We hand it off to Angel.
Hey fam, my name's Angel Maddox. Just so damn imperfect in a program that's perfect for me. You know, when I got this topic, I was like, man, I don't know. You know what I mean? But then I had to get honest and tell the truth, you know what I'm saying? Because when I came in here in the beginning, I came in here off a bid. You know what I mean? And I went into the rooms and I seen some people that I had used with and they were in the room and they were clean. And so I met a guy. Well, actually, I went in there, I was looking at all the guys. Shit, you know what I'm saying? I went in jail, a size 3, and I came out about an 18, I was thick. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, so I needed some attention. You know what I'm saying? I came out just with that same mentality that I went in with, you know, just trying to do what I could do and get what I could get. Now, when I came to my first meeting, I can't tell you I came in there to get clean. I really didn't even know what the program was about. I went to jail. They didn't send me to treatment. They sent me to a church program, a 6-week church program. In the middle of going to the church program, somebody told me about the day program. I went to the day program, and somebody told me about a meeting. So I go to the meeting. You know, I told you I came off a bed, so my clothes were too little. My shoes was rocked to the side, and you know what I'm saying? And I just went in there, and these people were laughing and having fun and stuff, and I was looking around, and I was like, well, shit, something going on up in that camp. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, some guys in there, they was looking good, they had gold chains on and stuff, and they was smiling and shit, and I was like, shit, a bitch on! You know what I'm saying? It's on! You know, I'm just saying, I'm talking about my mentality, because I didn't come in here, like, breaming with honesty and good intentions and shit like that. You know, I came in, I was trying to pick which one who was going to do this and who was going to do that. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what I came from. I had one to pay the bills. You know, I said one that had good dick, because we all grown up here. One that had, just it was different things. I had different men for different things. And so I came in here with that kind of mentality, and I came off a bed, so y'all were climbing the walls, you know what I'm saying? So I was looking around the room, and I met this guy, and like he was an old timer, like he had like 60 more days clean than me. And he knew everybody, you know what I'm saying? So he was my predecessor, he knew everybody, he was popular, he had friends, I ain't had nobody, and you know, and he was looking at me. So, you know, I said, hey, you know, and so we kind of hooked up, and you know, he would pick me up from the rescue mission, because that's where I went. He would pick me up from the rescue mission, take me to meetings, you know what I'm saying, and hang out with me, and you know, take me back and stuff, and then through this process, you know, I graduated the program, and I had to get out and get in my own place, so I found somebody, and I stayed with them for a while, and you know, he still transported me and stuck with me through this, and then fucked around, Defects gave me my kids back.
Oh, wait.
So I got these kids I don't know what to do with. So I'm kind of glad for the help, you know what I'm saying? Because I got these kids, now I got this dude. Now let me keep it 100 with y'all now. I really wasn't in a relationship to win it. Okay? We were really good friends. See, I had been there before. I have a child by a really good friend. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, he was a really good friend, and one day while we was friends, we went to his mom's house. He was living with his mom at that time. He got out the shower, and I seen it. See, I know it was a setup. I want to tell you I was a victim, but I was a goddamn willing participant in that shit. You know what I'm saying? Let me get 100 about that. You know what I'm saying? So I synced it, and then we did what we did. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm trying to listen to my sponsor and the other women in the fellowship. They said, "Oh no, y'all knew, don't do that." You know what I'm saying? So I'm telling him, you know, he's saying, "Okay, well, we've been kicking it, we done did it. You know, we need to make this next move." And I was like, "No, cause my sponsor and them said we ain't supposed to do this." He said when he gave me an ultimatum, he said either we gonna do this or I'm gonna bounce. So I said, well, you're going to have to bounce. And so then I didn't have a ride to work, and I didn't have a ride to the meeting, because back then the meeting was just my social gathering. You know, I hadn't got there yet. It was just where some people was, and they was having fun, and, you know, I like hanging around them, and they let me hang around with them and shit, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, I needed to be there, because I needed some people, because, you know, I'm from Chicago, or Indiana, you know, that area, and you know, I was down here and I didn't really know a lot of people, you know what I'm saying? So he knew everybody that was actually his friends. So I'm incorporating his friends in my life because, you know, I'm the kind of woman who grew up with men who really, I ain't gonna tell I don't do women well because I feel out of place. I grew up with guys, you know what I'm saying? I don't care who Mary was with, who Jane fucked, what she had on. I don't give a damn about none of that. You know what I'm saying? I don't be calling me, I don't do that. You know what I'm saying? So, which, you know, on the girlfriend tip, if you know, what I find with some women, I'm not saying with all, if you don't call me every day or we doing this, you ain't doing this with me, then I got friends now, they know me. I'm an introvert by nature. If I call them once a month or once a week, it's still the same thing, you know what I'm saying? We still the same, you know what I'm saying? Because those are the ones that require more from me than I have to give, they just ain't in my life like that no more. You know what I'm saying? I have a few friends, some associates, and some people I just know. That's what I got now. I mean, that's just keeping it 100. You know, they say in the fellowship, you know how we got. Well, I mean, come on, everybody in the fellowship, y'all ain't gonna be like that. Let's just keep us. You know, I'm gonna bust nobody's bubble, and you know, it's just not a reality. You know, some of us gonna click, and some of us ain't. Some of us, they don't miss because we don't click. Don't mean we don't wish you well. Okay, it's just like we just, you know, we don't have the same values. Okay, and you know, no matter how much or whatever I do, I can't sell you my values. Okay, I came raised up from a mother who really didn't do shit, from a daddy who was a disciple gang leader, sold dope, all that. So I already knew about, I didn't know what it was. I already knew about being with somebody who used it and you ain't used it because I had watched that all my life. I had watched my mama take care of my daddy until she got tired of him, and then he went on and I resented her for that. Because she put my damn daddy out. You know, and then when he would come, because I look just like him. Like, my mama and them, they like 5'2" little statue women, they got my big ass. You know what I'm saying? And then I'm 15 years younger than everybody, so I felt like, you know, I was just a mistake that she didn't want. You know what I'm saying? I had a lot of insecurities, a lot of stuff that was going on with me. You know what I'm saying? They built like brick houses and up flat chests, big feet, and you know what I'm saying? Just all that shit, you know, all them insecurities I came up with in my mind. So, you know, after trying to get this thing with my mother, councilwoman, she doing what she doing, she really ain't got time. You know, my big sisters them was saying they was coming, they wasn't coming. My dad called, said he was coming, he ain't come. So, you know, I'm trying to figure out where I fit in this piece. Okay, so I went to my dad's mom, and, you know, I remember going over there when I was younger, so I got a little older, and I went over there, and I said, you know, check this out. I said, you know, I got to figure out where I belong. I said, you know, I look like y'all. Only difference between her and me is if you didn't know she was black, you didn't know she was black. She went down, okay? And so she went on to tell me that wasn't her child. I said, well, if I ain't yours, then whose am I? I said, I look around, when I look in the mirror, I see you, I see my dad. I don't see my mama now. So that went on to me looking for something. You know, I was looking for something. You know what I'm saying? I needed something. Like, I couldn't fix me, so I needed some other people that I could fix. You know what I mean? I'm talking about my insecurities, where I needed to be needed, where I misplaced my values. You know what I'm saying? I misplaced my values into trying to fix somebody else. Now, see, let me tell you about my story. When I tell you about the guy and all that shit, let me tell you that the real deal is I was not a victim. I was a willing participant. But I'm going to tell you that I played victim now. See, because I had picked him out now. Come on now. He was like picking me up and doing shit, fixing shit. You know, that's what a girl wants. You know what I'm saying? You know, I told him, I said, we just need to be friends. He said, well, you know, I want to be more. And so after them couple weeks, didn't have a ride to work, didn't have a ride to the meeting, I said, okay. Okay, so I get into this relationship with this guy, and you know, I moved out from the people I was living with because one of y'all told me that I was homeless in recovery if my name went on the lease. Man, it was so much more easier splitting the rent with somebody else living in this one room with 2 kids and shit. I'm talking about the ludicrous. I'm talking about my thinking, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And when I was going to the meetings and stuff, y'all, I ain't gonna tell you, never clicked in about getting clean. But I didn't click in about not wanting to use either. So, you know, I get out and I move into a place right smack dead in the fucking hood. So I ain't no Albany like that. I live in a duplex, these people doing dope on one side, I'm in the middle, and on the other side they're selling dope. But let me just say this, let me just be clear, newcomers. They was doing dope all up and down my street and shit. But for some reason, I didn't give a fuck what they was doing. I went in my house. I went to work. I left my house. I mean, I didn't leave home without a destination. You know what I'm saying? I had a bunch of recovering addicts in my life. You know, I surrounded myself with people that was trying to do what I was trying to do. No, let me tell you, that's a lie. I surrounded with the first people that I came up with when I got out of jail, because God knew I was crazy, so he put me with some people who wasn't using, so some people can tell me what to do. Okay, because I had just came, I'm one trip away from being institutionalized. You know what I'm saying? I had got comfortable. I'll tell you how comfortable it got, because I can keep it 100 about Angel. It's like, you know, the time before the last time I said, oh God, oh please, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And then like the door clicked one day and it was like, you could go. And I hadn't even nothing that really happened. You know what I'm saying? So I get out and everything I told God I was going to do, I left it right there in that jail cell. 2 weeks later, I was back in that bitch. Okay? 2 weeks later, I was back in that bitch. Sat down for 18 months this time. You know what I mean? And something happened in the mix. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, they didn't send me the treatment they were supposed to. They sent me to the damn Rescue Missions church program, which, you know, God needed me to get that connection with him. You know what I'm saying? Because he already knew that if he just threw me up in the treatment center, that shit was not going to work. Because treatment centers don't go both ways. You know what I'm saying? I hadn't connected the dots yet. I ain't know that. See, like, every time I got ready to use it, I went to the door, the fucking sheriff was riding by. I ain't get that shit. You know, every time I said the kids, the water jug in the refrigerator was empty and not used, I understand I still didn't get that shit. Every time I thought he came home late or he didn't look right, shit that I used, I still didn't get that shit. You know what I'm saying? I understand that every time I used, I had negative consequences. And every time I used, see, like I went to jail. I used to thought it was a bad thing. Now I know it was a motherfucking blessing. Like jail was the best thing that ever happened to me in my life, next to Narcotics Anonymous. Because some people that I used are dead, ain't talking to themselves and doing all kind of other shit. And you know, God blessed me enough that I was able to come into narcotics with a little bit of my sense. You know what I'm saying? Enough sense to take the cotton out of my ears and stick it in my mouth and get this message. Now I ain't tell you I came in here and you know it was Mary Sunshine and shit and the shit was easy now, because that's just not my story now. You know, I don't drink coffee, but I had to do them struts to the coffee pot, you know, 3 or 4 times. I came up, I got 18 years clean. So back then they tell you, sit your ass down. You don't even fucking drink coffee. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, I wanted to be mad and shit, but I had just came from some people telling me when I could bathe, when I could get up, when I could eat. So shit, you know, that shit kind of came out. God, I needed that. God knew I needed that. He just said, oh, Angel, baby. I'd have said, shit, how many dollars you got, motherfucker? You know what I'm saying? Shit, I'm good at what I do. You know what I mean? You know, just, you know, I'm just saying. I'm telling you my mentality. I'm telling you that, you know, I took on victims. I was Captain Save-A-Ho. You know what I'm saying? I was Captain Save-A-Ho. So me and this guy gets together, right? He's got good intentions. You know, he's my predecessor, and he likes me for some reason. I know why he liked me though, for real. Y'all. I know why he liked me and shit. But you know, anyway, he liked me and shit. But I you know, I really didn't like him like that. Okay, but you know, we was in a couple. We was dressed alike and shit. You know what I'm saying? We was cute. You know what I'm saying? And you know, he had the friends, and you know, and then you know, we had got to where we actually got into the program. I live in Albany, Georgia, and we used to go to Moultrie every Sunday and do H&I. We used to go there every Sunday. It was like our thing. Is what we did. You know what I'm saying? Then we started going into the treatment center in Albany and doing H&I and stuff. So, you know, then on his job, something happened. He got a little promotion, and he started working with a guy. And I knew the guy from my past because I used to trick him out of dope all the time. And so, you know, he saw me and knew who I was, but I never disclosed it with my friend. You know what I'm saying? And so I know this guy, and I know he sell dope, and I'm watching my friend start to change. So, you know, I'm studying asking us how you're using, but we know. We know. But but I ain't want to deal with it. You know, I ain't want to face it. You know, because he was still coming home, we was still getting the bills paid and all that shit. So I ain't really want to look at it. You know what I'm saying? Because he ain't using it in front of me, and I was playing dumb like I ain't see it. Right. Okay, and you know, when I called him on it a couple of times, he said no. So I said okay, because you know he's still doing what he's doing and stuff. So, but it started to eat at me. He get in the bed, I get on the couch. He come on the couch, I get in the bed. You know what I'm saying? I start staying out, you know what I'm saying, because he was there, you know, trying to wait for him to go to bed before I could come home, because I just really wasn't feeling him no more like that. And then what happened was, he went out, when he did go, that one time he didn't come home. So, everybody know us because we meeting makers and, we all, we the NA, we it, and so now, I go to the meeting without him and then I go home and he ain't there. So I did what y'all told me to do. I call my sponsor, I call my neighbor because look, this nigga ain't here. Y'all know, I've been knowing and what I need to do. And they said, well, it don't matter now. When he come back, you can't let him in. So, next morning he came back. I had some of them in there. And so, I packed this shit up, sent it back to the mama house. Okay, so in the meantime, I started to learn something about this guy, right? Because I ain't really know him. Shit, he was just a pickup. Shit, picked him up in the goddamn rooms and narcotics anonymous. I picked him up. Shit, I picked him up, y'all. Shit, you know what I'm saying? So, and what I learned about him later on was that he had been married, right? And he didn't pay no bills over there either. Shit, and he'd go from his wife to his mama to some other girl to his mama to his wife. Back to his mama, and then it was my turn, right? And so I sent him back to his mama, and I guess in the meantime, he went back to his wife. So I'm feeling some kind of way now, y'all. The fuck? He was supposed to go to his mama and learn how to pay some bills and bring his ass back. He was supposed to go to his mama, learn how to pay some bills, get clean, and bring his ass on back. Now what he's supposed to do? What happened was, he picked up his ex-wife again in the meantime. And so, a lot of things I wouldn't even do with this nigga, you know what I'm saying? I find myself, I did that shit, man. I did that shit, man. Goddamn it, I did it, shit. I ain't want to do it, but I did it because, it was a competition. I need to show this bitch I could get him back. She ain't did nothing. I can get him. So, she got him, but I'm doing him and all that stuff. And in the meantime, I'm thinking I'm doing her, but goddamn it, I wasn't doing her. I was doing me. Okay? I was doing Angel. I'm thinking I'm doing this woman, I'm doing something to her because she knew I was with him. She ain't got someone else. Why she got to go back and get him? Because he was hers in the first place. Okay? But I ain't want to look at it like that. Right? Because, we was the NA couple and shit. Now she fucking up shit because she ain't in the rooms and shit. The fuck she come from? What the hell she think she doing? Okay, but that was, like I say, it was hers in the first place. I'm going to be real about it. Okay, so, in the meantime, I'm doing him. He's doing her. We doing it. And they get ready to get remarried again. So a couple days before he got ready to get remarried again, he said, shit, you know what, boo, I ain't gonna do that. I'm coming back home. Like, oh, hell no. Wait, hold up. I was just playing. Now, I don't want you not to marry her and shit. You know what I'm saying? Because then, I had that flashback of how I was getting on the couch in the bed, off the couch in the bed, and all that shit. And I knew that, well, for real, that, we was better friends than anything else, and I was fucking dead wrong. But that came from the work that I put in. You know what I mean? Because at the beginning, it was just all about self-gratification and ego. Okay? And in the end, I was hurting. I was hurting me and fucking hurting him too. You know what I'm saying? I fucking hurting him too. Because he ain't have enough common sense and I wasn't trying to give him none. You know what I'm saying? And as long as I got what I needed out the deal, I thought it was all right. You know what I'm saying? And I'm thinking I'm getting some get back and I'm getting the get back. You know what I mean? What I had to learn how to do was I had to get back and leave this man alone. Okay, so in the meantime, so we done broke up and all this stuff. So now, the friends gone. Like the chicks and stuff, they was all right with me and stuff like that, because they came help me get the shit out. But the dudes, our friends, our real friends, the dudes, they was mad at me because I put his ass out. But that's what y'all told me to do. Y'all told me to use. I can't have him in the house with me. I'm new. I don't know. I'm just following instructions. Y'all say he can't come back in, so the guys, they mad. They was like, man, you ain't have to do him like that and all this kind of shit. And I was like, well, shit, I don't know. But in the meantime, another ride showed up. Cause first I got to start getting my ass on the goddamn bus, and it was okay. Okay. Then another ride showed up. And then, I noticed that it was still food in the house because he had a job where he'd come home and eat and shit with my kids' food stamps and shit, and then we'll never want to bring nothing back into the house. Now, we made these cute matching outfits and all that fucking shit, but he wasn't bringing nothing to the door. Like, he borrowed money from me to pay his bill. Huh? But I allowed it. But I'm going to tell you, I was a victim. Oh, man, he didn't pay me my money back. This is like the 5th time, bitch. He ain't paid your money back. So what the fuck you make you think that something's going to change and he's going to pay your money back this time? But we're going in the meeting, so I need him on the arms because we got to put on this performance. Like, we got it all together. We don't need nobody to know that we got some issues, and these people here got way more time than both of us. They know we got some shit going on. Right. You know what I mean? But I got to put up this air of this is who I am, and, and it's all right, and I'm suffering on the inside because I'm really not happy. I'm in a program that's giving me so many gifts, but I'm choosing to be miserable in a program that I'm supposed to be free in? Huh? Based on some information, see, because I've never been married, okay? So, and then I always looked at people that was married and thought that that's what I was supposed to be.
Yeah.
You know, because I believe in the Bible and the Christian stuff like that. You know, the Bible says man and wife and all that stuff. So I'm trying to figure out, you know, where I fit in and where my shit. You know what I'm saying? Where me at? You know what I'm saying? So I'm making decisions. I'm taking victims. You know what I'm saying? Just trying to, you know, make this illusion work. And then I met this professor, and he broke me down. He put some books down. He broke me down. He said, well, you know, Angel, everybody ain't supposed to be married. I was like, what the fuck? All this time I'm pulling my hair, running around and giving it from the back and doing it to the back and trying to keep one and all that shit, and I ain't got to try to get one? I mean, I ain't know. I was kind of mad. I was like, shit, all this bullshit I've been going through, that put me through trying to get one and keep one, and I ain't really got to have one? See, I thought it was a necessity, and it was a want. I thought it was a need, and it was actually a want. You know, I wanted the illusion of that. You know, and I needed for him to, you know, I needed, like, you know, I wanted to be like, you know, but I'm so, you know what, and it really didn't work out because I'm too motherfucking independent. I had a paper route since I was 8 years old. I've always did for me. You know what I'm saying? I can allow you to do for me, but just don't try to call no shots. Okay? Okay, then what man's gonna do for you and not want to call no shots? This shit don't go like that. You know what I mean? So now I've been, you know, I'm old as hell and shit, and you know, I'm looking at stuff and I'm trying to teach me how to be submissive. Man, I don't know. See, my picker broke. I done picked up, I done tried to, you know, even after this one, and he gone, and we got to be friends, and he went on, married his wife, he did what he did. I'm pounding on portals, I'm traveling all the world, I'm speaking the message of narcotic numbers, I'm dogging people out for motherfucking with newcomers, and then my goddamn flavor walked in the door. You remember? Okay, wait a minute. Okay, but yeah, then my flavor, he walked in the door, right? And then, so, and what happened was, like, you know, he pursued me. I wasn't, you know, we was just cool and shit. And he came over, he started fixing my car and shit. Started fixing shit around the house. And, you know, first he was asking to come over, then he was just coming over. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know, that type of shit, you know. Shit. You know? Yeah, shit, you know, that man up shit, you know, shit I needed him. And he started coming, you know what I'm saying, fixing shit. And then he started trying to run some shit. And then when he fucked up at those, he asked me for my bank cards and shit. I was like, boo, you knew. That's what we not gonna do. We ain't gonna do that. So then I go and I said, okay, well, this is what we gonna do. Because I live in a house next to a church, and then in the back is a duplex. So I went and talked to the pastor. I said, look here. I said, you know, I let this dude come move in. He been here 30, 60 days, whatever. I said, but what I need for you to do for me is help me out with this nigga, because I want to be independent. You know, so I want him, but I want to let him get independent. So I want you to let him move in that apartment back there. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, he'll do some stuff for you, fix some cars and stuff like that, you know, and I'll help, and, you know, we'll get the rent paid or whatever, so he can be independent. Okay, so I get him back there, you know, I'm going back there some nights or whatever, you know, he coming up to the house, whatever. Okay, but then one night, he wouldn't answer the fucking door.
Ooh.
One night he wouldn't answer the door. And then, you know, I try to act like I didn't see that shit and let that shit go, you know, all that shit. And then another night, he didn't answer the door. So then I had the key. So I'm fucking around with the key, though, and I see him through the blind. This nigga come to the door. I see him naked. I see him get ready to come to the door. He's like, man, don't man. So I said, okay, this nigga tripping. So I sit outside all night to wait for him to come out. In the morning, he come out with another little girl, newcomer. Straight off the goddamn treatment van. That fucking shit was devastating. Okay. So now I gotta figure out what to do. I tried to cap the safe hold this nigga, you know what I'm saying? I gave him money, I put some clothes on him, I got him looking like something, you know what I'm saying? He was just a little grease monkey and stuff when I met him. And stuff, you know, I put up with him, and you know, I got him, put him around my kids and all that kind of stuff. So now I'm hurt, now I gotta figure out what to do. Okay, I had a flashback on the competing shit, so the competing shit wasn't what I wanted. And you know, I knew the girl that he messed with had a little reputation and had been around, stuff like that. So I'm a connect the dot kind of girl, cause you know I was blessed when I was out there. I wasn't the kind of girl who hopped in and out of cars and shit like that's not my story. First of all, before I hit, I thought I was too cute, and after I hit, I didn't think I was cute enough. So, you know, that wasn't that girl hopping down the car. So when I say I tricked with my baby daddy because I know I didn't want him no more. But if he give me what I needed him to give me and shit like that, you know what I'm saying, I let him get it. You know what I'm saying? That's what I did. So a trick is a trick no matter how you trick. It's still a goddamn trick. Let's just be straight about that. You know, but so this guy's living on the property that I'm living. You know, we done broke up and, you know, I have to watch him with other chicks on the property. Then they up in the goddamn rooms of Narcotics Anonymous. He in my home group. He my home group member. And then I can't share about it because if I share about it, I got way more. I got 10 more years than he got. That means like I'm sniper and I'm talking about it when I'm shooting at him and shit. When I really just want to share how I'm feeling. Because y'all taught me when it's one, I'm pointing one finger at somebody else, I gotta look at how many fingers is pointing back at me. I saw all the signs. Shit, the nigga came just like me. He came off a bid. You know what I'm saying? And you know and I got him from another chick. You know what I'm saying? So if I got him from another chick, what the fuck made me thinking another chick wasn't gonna get him from me? I want to say because I said he pursued me. See, I want to try to catch that. I said he pursued me, right? But did I say, you didn't hear me say about he was living with a chick while he was fucking pursuing me, did you? Okay. So, you know, she wasn't in the rooms like that, but, you know, he came into the rooms, he just tried to get clean. Well, you know, as far as I know, he was, I can't say that because you can only say you're addict. I can't say what he do. I can say what I felt. Because I've been through it before. But he ain't said that yet. So I got to leave that where it's at. You know what I'm saying? Because if I do that, it looks like I'm, you know what I'm saying, then that's not who I am. Not today. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm glad I've been through some experience. I don't know why the fuck I thought I was going to come up in a 12-step program and not have to work had to put no work in. Why I came up here and thought no situations wasn't going to show up, but I know relationships is my weakest area. And I'm not just talking about male and female relationships. I'm not talking about just the man and the woman. I'm talking about relationships in general. Because I'm a fixer, a nurturer, and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? And I'll tell you that I'm doing shit because I want to do this for you. But then when I get in a situation, then you don't give it back. Then I have to go back and do, do some more inventory. Then why the fuck did I do it in the first place if I was looking for something back? Now, when I was doing it, I wasn't looking for nothing back. But when it came around to my tab where I thought I needed something, I felt like you were supposed to be the main one, and you wasn't even there, period. It was somebody that I didn't even know. Came in and filled in that gap where I needed that gap at, where I needed that support, where I needed that encouragement, where I needed whatever I needed. And then that, you know what I'm saying, I have a little girl who's 20, and she always used to say, I got 18 years, I have 19 in July. But she used to always say, she got one more year clean than me. You know what I'm saying? That was our thing. You know what I'm saying? And I have to admit that, that I was looking for the I love yous and all that shit. I thought I needed it from a man. When I tell you that this little girl, I get it from the little girl, man. Even when she was young, I used to chastise her and stuff. She'd be mad, she'd cry, do whatever she do. In a few minutes, she'd come back there, she'd be laying up under me. I mean, like loving on me the way I needed to be loving on. And I thought I needed that from a man when I found it from a child, because after the nut, then what? Gratification ain't shit if you ain't in it. I remember staying for the gratification. You know what I'm saying? And I told you I stayed for the gratification, didn't really want him, but I just, it's the illusion of what I felt like it should be and what I wanted y'all to think it was. Right? But just by the grace of God, I ain't used. He did. By the grace of God. Not saying that, I ain't had no part in it. I can't say that. I can't take the credit or the blame for what he did, but I do know that I was doing some malicious ass shit. I do know that I was dead wrong. I do know that I wouldn't want nobody to do me like I was doing him. Which is like one of my biggest fears with relationships today. Because, everybody kind of doing everybody. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I connected dots. So I'm too old to be in the clinic. What the heck? I'm too old for the clinic, guy. I ain't gonna be able to do it. You know what I mean? So, I'm just holding on, holding the road, waiting on God to say, okay, here, you can have one now. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna tell you that, I will pick up one now and then, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I just wish it could be like the old days, how men used to do us, 20 minutes, $20 or some shit like that. I keep it moving. But see, I ain't never been able to do it without the feelings. You know what I'm saying? I was talking about everybody else to do what they do. I ain't never been able to fuck without no feelings, now I'm saying. So I had to be real careful with what I do, where I put my pants down and where I bend over. Cause you say, you don't call back and you don't shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be somewhere in the fetal position cause I made cause I was looking for something. I was looking for love in all the wrong places. I was looking for love and what I ended up with was some lust. Okay? So I had to learn, I had to get real 100 with that. We was talking about being with somebody that they using in the fellowship. It's like the young man said, it ain't always about the dope. Because some shit happened before the dope. Some lying, some stealing, you know what I'm saying? Some stuff happened. I gotta get real with that. Some happened before the dope. And I probably started and didn't even want to look at it. I don't know, man. I just know that I love this process. And I'm glad that God gave me y'all and to love me, some of y'all, let's keep it 100, to love me unconditionally. And the ones that don't, that's on you. That's your business. You know what I'm saying? I'm always coming here. And at home where I live, nobody's HIV positive. Nobody's cheating on their wife. I've been going through some financial shit. And I done waited 18 years to go through some financial shit, and it's fucking me up. You know what I'm saying? But I come in and I share when my ass is on fire. I share when I want to pick one up. I tell them, it's like, man, you sharing that? Hell yeah, I'm sharing that, because somebody else might be here feeling the same damn way. They want to pick one up, and they going to be able to come back from it if they pick it up and don't act like they wanted to act. Somebody need to know. You know what I mean? The book says the relationship can be a pain for everybody. They said they have to. So if I come in here and let you know there's some shit going on, this is what's going to happen if you try that. Hopefully now you can say, well, shit, Angel tried that shit, so she already said that shit ain't going to work, so I ain't got to do that shit, because, you know what I'm saying? Hopefully that's what you get out of it. You know what I'm saying? That's why I share how I share. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. I'm just grateful for the situations, because I don't call them problems. Problems too heavy, weighed down, feel like I can't change them. I call them situations. And all the situations I've been through, I put myself in them. Please believe that. You know what I'm saying? It's about me taking accountability for my actions. You know? I don't know, man. Nobody told y'all today, man. I love y'all, man. We're going to just keep doing this thing together. Y'all keep coming me, telling me some shit, and I'm going to keep telling y'all my shit. And then we're going to recover together. Thanks for allowing me to share.
Thanks.